everyone. Okay, let me just put my page up here. And I've got my laptop kind of balanced up here because I'm still working on my setup. Eventually I'll get it right, but anybody that knows me knows that I always change how things are, rearrange furniture and stuff, so we'll see. I'll keep doing that until I find what I want. Until I get one. Until I get to where I want. Okay, so just do that so I can see any comments. Perfect. So this is what the catalog looks like, in case anybody wants to know. It's got everything that they offer, the Chalk Couture offers in it. I've got some little sheets in there of what I was going to order. I already put in my big order, so if there is something that you like, you can order it directly, especially if you're a club member, because you get a better discount on shipping and stuff than I do. And tonight I'm going to clean off my Aiden board and do the club transfer for February. So if you are not in the club and you join it in February, this is the transfer that you'll get. So you always get a B-size transfer and you get 3 different paste packets with it. This month the colors will be black, currant jam, which is like a reddish pink, and then shimmer gold. So these are the colors that you get. I don't have currant jam, so I can't use that one. But I do have like a raspberry sorbet, which is pretty close. But you don't have to use the colors that come in it. You can do anything you want. Actually, before I open that, I'm going to clean off my Aiden board so I have a good surface to do it on. Right. And to clean off my board, I'm just going to put water on it. And I have distilled water in here because that's what I use to clean or put in with the paste. And I used a lot of shimmers on this, copper and olive. So it'll be a little glittery when I take it up. I think once my ink colors get here, I'm going to do this like on canvas so I can keep it because I really love this one, and I'm trying to put it on some shirts. Let's see if I need that. So usually like about 10 seconds or so, and then you can start, see it's coming right off. But if I rub my hands on it, like I showed you on this one, rub it, it's not coming off. And you only have to give the water about 10 seconds and it'll start. Just to loosen it up a bit. That's with the Chalk Couture boards. Now, if you were using like something you got at the dollar store or off Amazon, because I have those kinds of boards too, it just doesn't. Likely you'll have ghosting on the back, so you can still see a hint of what you had on it before. Which usually will cover up with other chalk paste, but just in case. It won't clean up usually as nice as these boards do. So really it's just investing in a couple boards and just keep changing it out. Alright, so just using paper towel to speed up the drying so I can get going on it. Alright, so this monthly transfer has three different pieces you can cut. So they do show you the lines, so you know where to cut. I mean, honestly, you probably can just put it right on like this if you wanted and do it like that. It doesn't really matter. They do give you an idea sheet that tells what they call a recipe. So everything they use, what kind of board they used, how they made the decorations, the colors, everything like that. And it walks you through step by step. So you don't have to feel lost or anything like that. And then again, the stencil sheet that comes in tells you how to use it as well. And if you're doing it, specifically how to heat set it. So there's very little room for error, and it's tough. So if you do mess up, you just erase it and do it again. Okay, let's see. I try to cut right on the line as best you can. It's not always possible. If you go off the line onto the green surface, what you might notice is because it's silkscreen, it's got silkscreen running all through it. Even on the green parts, it's just inside of it because it wasn't exposed and all the way through. because of that, you might see like some strings hanging off the end, like it's frayed, just cut it off. But that's how you'll know that it's silk screen. Okay, so how do I want to, I think, I want to do it a little different than how they did it. So I think I might just do it on the side with the arrows. With the arrows on the left or right. Not sure. And I did order some little spinning wheels for the giveaways. Just remember, you can get entered in the giveaway if you like the video, share the video, and then comment that you shared the video. With that, then I know to enter you in the drawing. And you don't have to actually be present at the live to see it. You just have to do that stuff, and for each video you do that on for the week, you'll get an entry for each one. Okay, so let's see. Remember, you can use a towel, anything that you're just to dull the stickiness of it. This is the first time that obviously that I'm using this, because it just came in the mail yesterday. Just so that when it sticks on the board, it doesn't stick too much and you're able to get it off without hurting the paste and stuff. If you're doing it on clothing or anything, you really don't need to fuzz it up. You don't want to. You want it to be as sticky as possible. All right, so I'm going to put this over here. And I'm just gassing on. Right. Okay, let's see a color. So since I don't have the currant jam, I'm going to use the, let's see, I've got, yeah, that's, so I'm going to use the raspberry sorbet. It's close to the currant jam, not quite the same, but they're pretty close. They're a reddish pink color. And I haven't used this one, I think, in a while, so I'm going to add a little water just to stir it up. Since I've been doing the lives, I keep forgetting to put a little water in when I get done using them, so that if it does dry up a little bit, it's fine the next time you open it. And again, the new paste formula I have, like Scarlet is one of them, does not need any mixing up, does not need any water. So hopefully just once I get rid of these old jars that I have, I won't ever have to add any water to a paste jar again. But there are, because they retire colors every 6 months, you may find yourself wanting some of the older ones, in which case this is what you may have. Well, I mean, if they're older, retired, then you're probably going to have to stir them up anyways. Because there are some people out there that are even looking for some of the old colors because they like them so much. But usually the colors that they come out with are close to ones that are retiring. Sometimes they're completely different. Like Tulip is the next in the reds that are going out versus Scarlet, which is like I call it the perfect red. It really is the perfect red. Let's see. If you're out there, anybody, well, I can see a couple people are out there. You can always just say hi or tell me where you're watching from. I know a lot of people have been finding my page. Okay. And I'm just putting the paste on. Do it as thick as you want. In case I have anybody new people, I'll show you what it looks like when it's on there thick. So basically when you put it on like this so you can't see the letters. And then what I do is just scrape off the excess. So no, you know when you see the letters that you're there, and scraping it up a little bit because it doesn't get through the mesh. It doesn't pull it out of the mesh or anything. So doing that allows you to see if, oh, maybe I missed the I and the dot on the I, or the corner of the D at the beginning. When you're wiping it off, you can really see that, oops, I somehow missed that. It happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it gives you another chance just to double check over your work. Okay. Well, I did go over the edge of the transfer a little bit, so I'll show you how to clean that up. Pull this up and try to pull it evenly. And my little of didn't go through really. There's that little squeegee after it in the water too quickly. For some reason, it didn't want to pick up that of. Might just mean that I just pushed down on it too lightly. Maybe because I was looking at the one section where I went over the board. So as you're pulling it up though, it gives you a second chance to see if something's not, maybe you didn't push down hard enough, if a letter's not showing through quite as well. I know my transfer didn't start to dry, so that's not the problem. I think I just didn't push down. There's some where it's really fine letters. I think I just didn't push down hard enough on it. Okay. So this is this part, and this is where I went over the edge of the transfer. So I'm just going to take a paper towel, a little wet, a little water on it, and just wipe it right off. And just take a dry paper towel to help dry it up so I can get the next transfer down. If you're doing other things, you can always just let it sit dry and come back to it. Or if you've got a second project you're working on, which I can't wait till I get out of quarantine tomorrow, and then I can go grab some crafting supplies and like add. I need to learn how to make bows with the ribbons, which I've never really been good at. And people make it look hard, but I really want to try it. All right. So below this one, I'm going to put Live the Life You Have Imagined, the second part, and the arrows on the side. And I think if I do that, I think I can squeeze in like, probably squeeze in like, maybe I can do that after. Thinking of squeezing like a row of arrows in. And I also don't want to touch my stuff because it's not dry yet. All right, so I'll go with this one first. Because then once it all dries, if I like how the arrows look on the side, I can put some on this side. And the good thing about the arrows is you can reuse that over and over again. Somebody posted a picture where they did the arrows, but they did it like just the arrows on a hat. It looks really good actually, and they did different colors for the different arrows in it. All right, so I'm going to put it down, centered a little lower so I can squeeze arrows in there afterwards. And then the colors were, black was one of the colors they used. So I'm not going to use the black on this. Even though if I'd done the arrows first in black, it would have given like an etching on the background, which probably would have looked nice. I can always try that as a second thing. So I'm going to try to do each monthly design a couple different ways. Just to show you what options you have. And like Live the Life You Imagine, that could be done on anything. I like this one. Last month, in January they had 3 of the free transfers that you could get based on how much you spent on orders. Were all inspirational ones. Like, I've got one from here. So if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So they're doing quite a few inspirational ones. All right, so now gold is one of the colors that you get. But I want this to stand out, so I'm gonna do, maybe I'll do. This is why I need a color wheel, then I don't have to. So I won't use that one because that one's going out. I'll use the gold, I guess, for the live. And my gold is one of my new, so it should not require any stirring, and it doesn't. And just gonna grab a squeegee. See, nice and creamy. So this is the shimmer gold, which does come in the packet, and it's just got that glitter built into it. So it really sparkles. Sometimes it's hard to see the sparkles on camera. But usually it shows up pretty good in the pictures depending on how you get it, the angle you take it at. Oh, I put that back where I checked it. So that's not too bad. Oh, a little drop of water on there. And then I'm going to try to squeeze some arrows right in there. But for now, I'm going to do the arrows down on the side. And the arrows are going both directions, up and down, every other row rotates. So I'm going to start right on the edge, as close as I can to the letters, yeah. Because then afterwards I can always squeeze a couple more on the edge. Now, so I use the raspberry sorbet, which is close to the currant jam, which is the color, one of the colors you get in the monthly in the paste packet. I use the the shimmer gold. I just gotta figure it out. I think what I'm gonna do the arrows in on the side. Yeah, I'm just smoothing it down to make sure there's no air bubbles in there. Because if there were air bubbles, it could, when you push it down with the squeegee, it could move it around and could make your paste smear a little bit. I think I'm going to do a couple different colors just to mix it up a little. I'll use the raspberry again, and then maybe a little yellow and orange, and kind of do like a little blending of colors. My yellow's in good shape. So I know my raspberry is because I just used it. And let's check out the orange. Orange is not too bad, but I could probably add a little water to it. If you're not sure, it doesn't hurt to add a little to it. And with the new paste, hopefully you won't do that. In which case, there will be no need for the water bottles anymore. So it would be interesting, or other than to clean the surfaces. Right. Okay, so I'm going to blend the colors. And to do that, I'm just going to put a little of each one and then mix it around. And you can use either the squeegee to mix it around or your fingers, just like finger paints. Alright, so let's see. I'll go with my darker color first. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here in different areas. Orange. Raspberry down here. And then some yellow. You can also do it like with the little stir sticks. Just put a little on different areas. You can use your finger and put them in different dots. No right or wrong way to do it. You do want to be careful when you're mixing the colors around because the darker color will overwhelm the light color. So you kind of usually want to push the lighter color into the darker color. And I usually just go like this. And by going like this, it's starting to look like sherbet. But I don't want to hurt the yellow too much because I still want to be able to see the yellow without everything else overwhelming it. So as you can see, it looks like a big old mess, but I'm just going to scrape it off and it'll look good. I'm not going to put the paste from this back in the jar because it's all mixed together. If I were mixing up a color, I could always put it in a second jar. Whoops. And put that there. Just to get these out of my way. Okay. So since I don't have a jar to put this in, as I'm scraping it off, I'm gonna go like this. So you can see the orange is kind of overwhelming it. So I'm going to actually put a little bit of the raspberry back on because I can tell that the orange is overwhelming it. Must be I had more orange on there than I thought. So I'm going to grab so that I don't get another thing out. I'm just going to take a little stir stick and just put a little raspberry in areas that I want to show up. So I want a little bit here, a little more here. Areas where the orange started to wash it out. And then I'm just going to clean it up with that so that it blends in more. You're still going to have a hint underneath it, but it will also, the colors will also start to mix together. All right, much better. Oops. The good thing about the chalk base, it'll clean off my desk easily. All right, so let me get this pulled up. So I don't want it to sit on there too long. And so it looks like certain areas it did start to sit on too long. So I'm just going to push it back down. I'm not putting any extra paste on. I'm just putting pressure down on the area where it looks like it wanted to pull up. And there's like, some of the arrows have feathering in the back. So it's really fine lines. I want to make sure that shows through. As best as I can. A little bit more. Yeah, it's that feathering part on the end of one of the arrows that really just is being a bit of a pain. It's just because I took my time and was showing you all the different colors. There we go. Okay. And because I got it on my desk, let's get it. I could leave this overnight and it's not going to hurt it. And I did get a little bit on the edge, so when I was mixing the colors, I went over the edge. I'm just going to wipe that off. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit on this side too. And what some people do is take a Q-tip if it's really close to a letter. if you're nervous about it. But then, you know, you can always put the transfer back down if you need to. Okay. Just make sure that's all open. Okay, go confidently in your dreams. Direction of your dreams. So once this dries, I'm going to put a little bit more arrows on. But I'll put it here to dry for now. Live the life you have imagined. And I'm just going to spray a little bit of water in each of the colors that I used. And there was only, oh, hey Melissa. Hi Ann. So the colors I used were the raspberry sorbet, the shimmer gold, and then for the arrows I mixed the raspberry with orange and yellow. So the yellow is a daffodil color. It's a little bit darker than a pastel yellow. Thank you. Don't forget, if you want to enter my drawing for the week, to like the video, share the video, and then comment that you shared it, and then you get put in. So for each video on my page that you do that for, you get entered in for the drawing for that week. Okay. Oh, I made a little bit of a mess on my mouse. The only other thing I was going to do tonight is, because they said you can do it on glass, I have these little lights. They're just kind of plain, but they've got like mercury glass on it to make it a little sparkle. So what I'm going to do is because you can do it on glass and stuff like that, I'm going to put a little bit of the chalk paste and a little design, one of the little mini designs on the edge, just to see how it comes out. I've seen other people do it, and I've got lots of like outdoor lanterns and indoor decorative lanterns. I kind of want to see what it looks like. Melissa, you like this setup better? Now I've got two kind of desks together now. I'll figure out my perfect setup eventually. I mean, I have it upstairs that I could turn, but I don't know. So on this, it's an off-white. I do want it to stand out. So I think I'll just use the black shimmer, because if anything, that'll really make it stand out. And the shimmers. And I'm going to use my mini squeegee that's cut in half, because it's a small surface and it's already at an angle. So let's just see. I just want to see how it's going to look on it. I've never, I mean, I've put chalk on glass before, because we've gotten a couple of cheap like frames from the Dollar Tree, and that's actually what my nephew, when he was making Christmas gifts, he made a bunch of different ones and just got really nice looking frames, and he put little designs on them and gave them out as gifts. It was really cute. Everybody loved them. Put them up. So let's see how this looks. I mean, it only takes a second with the minis. They're really easy. Oh, it came out pretty good. So I could actually, I've got little farm ones, so I could actually do all different kind of farms, like maybe a horse on the side for the farmer's market and things like that. I think I'll do a couple more of those and see how they see. Because I do have some huge lanterns that I could use some of the bigger designs on. And I usually decorate them in my enclosed front porch and stuff, because I like to sit out there in the summer and spring and fall when it's not too bad. Nice. Don't stress on your homework, Melissa. It's only your first week back. Okay, so that's my coach. Does anybody have any questions? And do you like the lantern that I did with the little design on it? So usually different, and I have like Halloween designs and Valentine's Day designs, so I can change this up year round, and then it's not just for like one season. So I just need to, yes, yeah, I love the little lantern. One of my little purchases. And I'm glad I can decorate it up a little bit more, because sometimes people put bows and stuff on top, but I'm not that good with bows. I gotta practice and get better on it. Once I do that, then maybe I'll be able to add some different kind of bows on it as well. So I had a little bit of water over here, a little tray, I just throw my transfers into. It just starts to, with the chalk paste, it starts to, you know, loosen it up. Sometimes you pull it up and it's not, it comes right off. This one was the one that had the shimmer gold on it, so if anything, it would have a little bit of glitter on it, but I don't really see too much. And I'm not sure if you can see at the top, see the little strings sticking up? I'm gonna cut those off. But that's because if I went over the little line when I was cutting them. So that's just part of the silk screen that runs through the whole thing. And part of the reason that you can use the transfers over and over again. If anybody wants to join my VIP group where it shows all my sales and deals, because I can't post them publicly, I have to do it in a private group. But that's what Chalk Couture does if I'm selling any Chalk Couture projects. Anything else I can post in here. Just comment VIP, and then I can just send you an invite to it since it's a private group. The transfers are pretty easy to clean up. Doesn't take any time, and I just let them sit out for a little while. I've tried to get in the habit of putting them back on their backers before I go to bed. Otherwise, I get up and they are in mysterious places, and sometimes I have to search for them because you never know what the cats are going to get into at night. Usually they'll go upstairs to play, but occasionally they'll, especially when I rearrange, they're like the dog. They have to check out what got rearranged and why, even though everything is exactly the same. It didn't move in a different room, it just moved in a different spot, but they have to check it out. Then if you're ever not sure that you got it through, you can just check and make sure you don't see any colors in this screen. Usually it comes right out, so I've never had a problem with it sticking in there. The only thing I've ever had happen is like I did with the arrows tonight, where I was playing around with the colors and talking too much, and it dried, so I had to put a little bit more paste on top to push it down in. The best thing about the little transfers is is that you so easy to clean. Done. And this had the black on it, the black shimmer, and I don't really see too much glittery stuff left on it. No black at all. Even the black ink that I use for different projects comes off. I ordered a bunch of different colors of ink, so once those get here, I can really play. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to be doing a live every night at 7. I'm going to try to do different projects. I've got to clean up some boards, but I'll probably clean up some boards maybe tomorrow, and then before my live. You don't need to see me clean the boards. I mean, I cleaned the board at the beginning of this one because I had forgotten. But then I'll also try to maybe I'll do the additional arrows tomorrow to show you that once everything's dry. Okay. If nobody has any questions, I'm gonna sign off and figure out tomorrow night what I'm gonna do for my live. I might try one of the bigger lanterns with one of the bigger transfers because I really like how that came out. I mean, I did it in black, but I could have done it in any color, even light color, because the light shines through the mercury glass. All right, okay. I don't see any questions. I know sometimes I forget, sorry, to look at the comments. I get carried away playing with the crafts. Okay. All right, everybody have a good night. And I'll see you tomorrow night if you tune in. All right, bye.